Howdy folks, welcome back to another tech tip of the week with Ben. I wanted to talk today about machine learning, and I think it's really important to get a good understanding of how it works because AI is so massive and taking over everything. And you see that buzzword everywhere. So in order for students to really understand what's going on, they really need to understand machine learning, and maybe it could help you with a refresher in it as well, or an introduction. So we're going to look at what is machine learning, and then we're going to do some examples of it. So basically, machine learning is a subset of AI, and it's how all of the different tools we have now work. So AI can't actually think. All it can do is get trained on large data sets, large amounts of information, whether it's pictures, audio, words, and then it trains that and creates an algorithm that can then predict. Okay, so we're going to look at how to train our own AI or our own algorithm using Teachable Machines, brought to us by Google. It's a really neat tool, and it allows you to create your own algorithm that can predict, and you train with your own data. And we'll look at how important amounts of data are, or good data is. So we go to Teachable Machines, and we see here there's several different projects that we can create. Okay, so there's an image project, an audio project, and a pose project. So we're going to look at a couple of these. The first one is the image project. So if you click on that, we'll use the standard image model. And we see here we have a couple options. We have class 1 and class 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to use their webcam to take pictures of objects. I have a clock, I have a stapler, and a water bottle. So we're going to train it to recognize these objects and label them appropriately. So let's start off. We're going to go to class 1. Let's go stapler. And then we're going to click down here on webcam. So we're going to use the computer's webcam. So you can use your Chromebooks to do this. And we're going to take many different pictures of this stapler. And we're going to take it from all different angles. And then it should be able to recognize this anytime. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of look away from it just so it's not taking images of me, just so it doesn't get confused. So we just hold down record, and we're just going to move the stapler around. Okay, so it can get different views, different perspectives. So the more data that you give this, the better it's going to be at detecting the stapler. So we have 229 images. I think that's more than enough. Next, let's go water bottle. And then we go back to our webcam. We have our water bottle. I'll move out of the way. You hold to record it. Once again, you're just going to get every different kind of angle on this thing. So no matter how you hold it up, it's going to detect it. Okay. So you'll see here, you want to get over like 100 images. You can also go through and delete out any images that aren't great. I'm not going to do that today, but you can actually like click on them. Oh, that's a little blurry. Get rid of that. Oh, that's blurry. Get rid of that. So let's add in our clock. So you can add a whole bunch of different ones so it can distinguish between. So we hold down and record, show all the aspects, all the sides of it. These little peggy things. Because if you don't train it on everything, it's not going to be able to necessarily recognize it. And then if you want, you can even add one more class of, I'm just going to add a class of me. Now we have four different classes of objects, including myself, that we can train this on. So we just hit the train model button. So now it's going to train for a little while. Okay, so we have our model trained, and you'll see here on the side, we can get a preview of what it looks like. So right now it's like, this is Ben. It knows it's me. Now if I hold up this, it says, oh, that's a stapler. I've seen that before. I've seen all these different angles. Now some of them are going to be harder than others, but there's a stapler. What's this? This is a clock. And it's very sure that this is a clock. What's this? It's a water bottle. They've seen this before. It knows it's a water bottle. Now, it's not going to be able to look at this and actually get this right because it was never trained on this, so it has no idea what this is. Your output's only going to be good as the data that you fed it to begin with. So there's me, like this. No idea what this is. It thinks it could be anything. A stapler maybe because it's black. Who knows? So this is a great example of machine learning. So we've created an algorithm that can detect me, a clock, that specific water bottle, and that specific stapler. And so you can end the activity here. It demonstrates how you can set up this algorithm and then how it can be used. But you can also export your model. And this would be to take it the next step where it actually writes out in code the algorithm you created. And all you have to do is copy and paste it. So you don't necessarily have to understand what it's saying. You could then put that into Scratch or another programming app, and you could create some sort of app based on it, an image recognition little game or something. And so if you have more questions about that, you can kind of reach out. I'm not going to get into it in this video. So let's speed run one more example. This will be the audio project. So the first thing you have to do for an audio project, so this is going to be able to pick up different sounds. And this would be really neat if you want to make an app or a game where it recognizes words or a sound. So let's try it out. So first you have to get 20 seconds of just background noise so that the algorithm will know kind of what to filter out. So we'll just do that. So there we have our 20 seconds. So now let's add an audio. So we'll hit mic. We're going to have to do a few examples of this. So let's do a snap. So you can only record for 2 seconds at a time. So you have to do that at least 4 times to show. Let's add a class. Let's do clap. Okay, so now we have our snaps and our claps. So now we're going to train the model. All right, so now our microphone's on and it's listening. So now we can try out our sounds. So let's see. So you can see the background noise is kind of going right now. So that's class 2. I forgot to label it snap, so I got that right. And it recognizes claps. So there we have this audio recognition. So you could use this in coding and you can put it, I mean, there's tons of different applications for it, but it's a really great way to show your students how to train their own algorithm. And it all depends on the data that comes in. So it opens up a great chance for a conversation about bias and how some models, some AI like ChatGPT is really good at language because it was only fed language. It's a large language model. So it can't pick your stocks or predict the weather because it wasn't trained on any of that data. And you can also talk about the data that's not there. So what isn't included in the data set. So that's a great way to talk about bias within AI tools because it all depends on the data that the AI tool got, and that will determine your output. So I hope you enjoyed it. Try this out with your students. It's a really great way to talk about machine learning and to give your students an activity where they take on the ownership of actually being machine learner creators. All right. Have a good one. See you in the next one.